Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome to another One Piece manga chapter read along. Today I am reading chapter 1159. I'm not going to be showing the chapter on the screen or anything. I'm reading from my phone on the Shonen Jump app, which I would highly recommend because it's like $3 or $4 and you get access to a ton of great manga. And for me, I really value convenience, so I love that it's all available right here on my phone whenever I want it. And you can download them and read them for a week offline. Obviously, I'm not sponsored, I am just letting you know what I use, okay? So, in the live chat, we have Hachi Jack, Kino, Modru is here, Hunter is here, Hussein is here, Ramon MDF, Charlie Odinoko, Death Beanie Dave, hello. Red Sun, Coffin of the Dead Butterflies, Tiago is here. Booty should be here. Shout out to Dark Shadow, who might still be on the way back from his grandfather's birthday party. Shout out to Sotos, who is behind on One Piece and needs to catch up. Shout out to Cherry, who might not be here tonight, but I know that she'll watch it back later. So yeah, I have not. Modru, was it this week or last week that you were spoiled on something? I thankfully have been avoiding most social media like the plague. I don't tweet anymore. I barely scroll on Instagram or anything because I want to avoid getting spoiled on like a ton of things like manga, anime, games. So honestly, most of my time I spend replying to comments on YouTube and also chatting to people in Discord. So my Discord server is available to YouTube members, Twitch subs, patrons, Ko-fi members. I think that's pretty much everyone. And we'll get together there and we talk about anime, manga. We can use spoiler tags, so it's pretty safe. And we have mods checking just in case any spoiler accidentally slips through. But yeah, that's where I spend most of my time online now, or just hanging out, over the weekends on streams. So I did get a question recently where someone was asking, like, dude, do you ever just chat to people? And I'm like, yeah, in live streams. I chat in live streams. Thank you, Mike. I already posted it. The leak community is awful on Twitter. That sucks. I think what is nice about Twitter is that you can mute certain words, but I mean, there's always going to be something that slips through, right? So, okay. I have not seen the cover. I do not know the title. I have not been spoiled, so I'm very, very excited. And before that, though, I'm just going to remember where last week ended. So, last week we had the whole Moria is the Kozuki clan. Oh, that's what you got spoiled on last time, right? You got spoiled on Facebook. Yeah, that sucks. But we had a very, very long discussion last week about Moria and all kinds of things. And then the chapter ended with... Oh, right. So Harold and Rox were fighting because Rox wanted Harold to join him, but Harold wanted to join the world. And sadly, he felt that the only way to do that was by being accepted by the world government. So they were fighting. And I'm here right now on page 14 out of 15, last week's chapter. The talks are off. I'm never inviting you again. I am the king. I can't risk my people's lives on the losing battle of a villain like you. They could not see eye to eye. The odd little friendship between them came to an end, and for the time being, they met no longer. For the time being. That's an important it's an L, participating in worldly stuff. Are you caught up on the One Piece manga? Because it's not an L for Harold to want to connect with other nations in order to support his people and support others. Because that is very important for society, for communities to share resources, share knowledge, and support each other in times where when you're down, we're up and we can help you. And when we're down, you're up. So it is really important to connect with other communities, other countries, and to exchange culture and connect with worldly stuff in that sense. But sadly, he felt like the best way to do that was with the world government, and that's where the problem comes in. So it's not so much the world so much as the government in One Piece, and probably the government in the real life too, but we won't talk about that. So until the day of that fateful incident, there's more news about Rox. Rox isn't coming, Loki. Shut up, you old hag. Do you want me to pour you some juice? Yeah. West Blue, 39 years ago in God Valley. That is where we found out that Shanks and Shamrock's mother is from that God Valley. And potentially, yeah, these people don't know who their father is, or they don't really understand the implication of whose kids these are, but we know what happens soon after, right? Okay. So here we go. Chapter 1159. It is called The Island of Fate. On the cover page, we see Yamato, Ulti, and Page 1, and they are eating apples and adventuring together. Oh, look at the cute little kitsune. It's like a fox spirit, right? And then it says Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 41. Time to munch on apples and return to the flower capital. Modru, don't you have both Ulti and Yamato at this moment? You should definitely get Page 1. So that at one point they can all be together, even if you will trade it later. Sorry, we're talking about games. Okay, here we go. Pirate Island Fulaled, 39 years ago. Did you look everywhere? Don Marlin was on last night's security team. They've all been killed. So even Don Marlin couldn't keep her safe? It's unthinkable. Who could have done this? What did you say? Huh? Our Shaki has been kidnapped? The crime happened within a window of just a few hours. But without any clues to solve the mystery, the pirates could only wail and gnash their teeth in anger. What is this? This guy doesn't look like he's gnashing his teeth in anger. He looks like he's counting his money. Please be safe, Shaki. Please. Damn it, Rox! What are you doing over there? I'll tear you to pieces. The news swiftly crossed the seas. And Rayleigh is worried too. Yeah, he's definitely the rat. He did something. So, Kuja Pirate's Empress kidnapped. Smiles vanished from the faces of all the crestfallen people, and it was said that all economic activity around the world went stagnant for weeks. That kind of reminds me of, remember when Toriyama sensei passed away, and I was told that even drug lords in places like paused their business out of respect. Like, it's that kind of idol where everyone loved this person, and now that they were, you know, it's kind of, her beauty moves the world economy. That is insane. EAF official says Wang Ji is the father of Caribou, maybe. Well, he sure has a face that could be the father of Caribou. And then 1 year later... Wait, she was kidnapped for a year? She was gone for a year and there was no clues? A whole year. Oh, darling, I'm so happy to see you. I always believed you would come back. Shamrock, Shanks, it's your father. You had twins? They're adorable. Yes, and they're yours. Now you can live here with me. Oh, if they're living anywhere, it won't be here. This island will cease to exist soon. Huh? I'm sorry, I kind of want to laugh at the ridiculousness of the situation. Like, she's so happy to see the father of her children, and she says, I knew you'd come back. And then he's like, no, they won't be living here. This island will be, everyone will be murdered. And in a fun game by me and my friends soon. And she's just like, the fuck? Yo. Look at his face even. He's like, oh, this island will cease to exist soon. You will be slaughtered along with everyone you love. Whoo! And I've already special ordered a wife who is befitting... befitting of me. All I have to do is make her mine. All I have to do to make her mine is win this competition. Competition? I can't scream bloody murder, I'm sorry, but this is going to be quite a scene to watch animated. Just like that. Right through the heart, probably. Begin the preparations. You want to see her face? Put Shanks' face on a woman. There you go. I'm sure there will be fan art, so. That woman gave birth to your children. How evil can someone be? Oh, you've not heard the things that people do to their own children? So, I mean, this is not too unbelievable. But yeah, what a scumbag. It's just... it's past the point of even being worse. Our anger, you know? By the time this gets animated, it would be the same time next year. Well, I watched episode 1142 today, and I read the chapter 7 months ago. So, maybe 7 months from now? 7 to... Oh, no, wait. No, I was catching up with the manga at that time. So that... Oh, yeah, that does not check out. Never mind. Don't... Ignore me. You had twins? They're adorable. Okay, so then he kills her and says, begin the preparation. In a different voice. Yes, sir. Disembarking now. I wanted to make a Monty Python joke, but I won't. The world government's navy is here? Yes, they've got the whole island surrounded. Is there some wanted criminal here? Bring the children indoors. Use only tranquilizer rounds. Apprehend those who resist. Oh, who do not resist. Why would you apprehend people who do not? Lieutenant Commander, what is the purpose of this operation? It's training, and you're in no positions to ask questions, Rook. But sir, platoon leader, what is this kid's problem? I'm sorry, sir. I'll give him a good talking to. Oh, you there. What's happening? And then he gets shot. Or what? Don't resist. Just stay put. Huh? You always have to take a look at characters like this and wonder, is Oda going to bring them back, you know? Or is this someone that we may know? Because that's the kind of person Oda is. Doesn't want to focus. It looks like Moria. Wait, who is he? Ban. Okay, don't ban. But can we time someone out? I do not tell me what to look for. I hate that. You're spoiling. Let me figure it out. If I don't figure it out, you can ask me later. Can you go back to that page? And that's all you ask. I don't want to be spoon-fed things. If I wanted to be spoon-fed things, I don't know, I'd go to like first grade again. Cause at the beginning of this video, I talked about how important it is for me to not be spoiled, that I've been avoiding social media. So why would you do that? So anyway, since I did thankfully ask the question before someone pointed it out, we can of course speculate together who it might be. That's fine. So someone did say that it looks like Moria, but I guess I could see that child laughing. But no, I don't think it's Moria, because wasn't it just established that Moria might have been a Kozuki? So run for it! They're arresting everyone! Why? They just look like normal civilians to me. Stop thinking! Individual thoughts only distract from the will of the group, focused on completing the mission. Man. That is the most, like... This brings up an interesting discussion. At this point, you can't... When people do this... Okay, I get how difficult it must be for an individual to stand up against... That's why when you are in a position of authority, you carry a lot of responsibility, and you could easily get in trouble. Like, you would get in trouble over your subordinates. Because if it's hundreds of people and there's an authority figure and they're telling you, like, do this, do this, do this. Okay, I understand why it would be difficult in that moment, but if you stay, and you know, like, at some point you're wondering to yourself, what was I doing? Who was I hurting? And you choose to stay and continue pushing that. I think that is why we might have brought this up last week, but when I was watching an X-Men movie, there were a bunch of military people that stormed a school of, okay, mutants. But then we had a long discussion in that video about someone saying, and it's fair enough, not saying they were wrong, I'm just saying, you know, they were having the opinion, it's just their job, they're just following orders. But that isn't so relevant in the long term when it comes to discussing someone's guilt, in the sense of in the same way that if you're ignorant of a rule, that doesn't exempt you from the rules, right? So this is the same kind of thing. Like, just because someone told you to do it, that doesn't necessarily exempt you from doing it. So there's limits to these things, right? Yeah, in World War, that's terrible flavor, terrible taste of water. In the events of World War II, a lot of people did claim, oh, I'm innocent because I was told to do this, but that didn't necessarily fly. Because the more people use that excuse, I mean, then you can excuse anything by just saying, I was told to do it. I was told to do it. Okay. So anyway, this to me is hard-hitting panel where a soldier says, listen, sergeant, whatever, these look like civilians to me. What are you telling me to do? And he just gets told, stop thinking. Individual thoughts only distract from the will of the group. Focus on completing the mission. But doesn't this look like someone? Doesn't this look like, it is him! Yay! Oh my god! I was just complaining like last week. Why don't we ever see more about Dragon? It's Dragon! Like, you turn the page, right? And I saw this face. And I was like, no way, I know this guy. Then I look down and I'm like, oh my god! Whoa! Look how good he looks! I love that. So he's the one asking this. And he says, but. Then he holds his gun at someone. It's fine. They're tranquilizer rounds. I'm not killing anyone. I'm sorry about this. If you allow us to arrest you, I won't have to shoot. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm leaving the island. Out of my way. And then he shoots the tranquilizers. Navy sailor, Monkey D. Dragon, future Revolutionary Army commander and father of Luffy. I'm sorry, but I find that my favorite kinds of characters in recent times are the ones who ask questions. Soul, Dragon, even Aokiji, even though he went to a freaking Blackbeard, but you know, like, I appreciate the crap out of characters who show me critical thinking skills, you know? You can spot that hairline anywhere. He might be a forefather of Vegeta or something, you know? or sorry, not the forefather. The reason I always make jokes about this, like, forefather, is because I feel if in a real world timeline, I feel like Dragon Ball Z world would be in the future because of all the Bulma tech, you know? So I always joke about that, but I know one came before the other, but to me, the tech of Dragon Ball makes me imagine if all shonen was connected in one world over thousands of years, whatever, to me, Dragon Ball would be like in our future a bit when there's better tech. And yeah, anyway, but it's just a joke. So so here we see where he started off. He was a Navy sailor, and but he's the future Revolutionary Army commander and father of Luffy. Put on your masks! We're using the tear gas! And he is not. Yeah. Navy prison ship carrying slaves. Navy and the slaves, carrying slaves, should not be in the same sentence unless they are rescuing people who are being held as slaves. I wasn't talking about power. I was talking about, like, oh my god, I was talking about someone's hairline. You guys need to, like, with your power scaling. Okay. I don't know what is this beep beep beep. I'm assuming it's a den mushi or something. Okay, here at the communications room. Did I just hear someone? Hey, Aniki! Jenny, you're all right. Yeah, it worked out. The intel agent should come by to get us later. Would you kids shut up? Don't ruin things for the rest of us. You're going to get us all punished too. Punished? You fool! We're all going to die! If you don't try to learn where the ship is going, and you don't even struggle to survive, what makes you think you'll be lucky enough to make it out? Don't play games with miracles. Hang on, Aniki! I like that. I like that passion. Oh my gosh, look at Morgan's! Look at Morgan's! It's so small! Oh my gosh. The prisoners are rioting. I didn't know that slaves could be so feisty. I'll put my scouter on when I want to talk about power levels. Okay, so Cypher Pol, Intelligence Agency. Oh yeah? You heard some incredible intel? What is it this time? Don't play dumb. I know you people picked it up too. Now pay me. You want me to sit on the scoop, don't you? How does some kid's local paper with a fancy name get an intel network like that? Careful or they'll snuff you out. Quah ha ha, just try it. Either way, I'm leaking this to Pirate Island. Oh, he was thinking it. So he gets intel and then he gets bribed. Like he tells them, pay me or I print this. So, but even if he takes the payment, he still gives the information to Pirate Island. So he's a kind of pirate himself in a sense, right? President of the World Economic Journal. So, Shaki is still alive? Are you serious? Oh, what a relief. Where is she now? God Valley. Where's that? That seems fishy. Are you sure about your source? Son of a bitch doesn't want them to find out the truth because he knows he will be burned at the stake. Because he sold Shaki off. That's what he did. But she's been already gone for a year, right? So she was held somewhere captive until this competition or what? Am I missing the timeline here or what? I just said or what too many times. The Navy has been taking action, so it seems solid. She's a prize in the Celestial Dragon's game. So that means whoever kidnapped her was with the government? Damn it! Shaki! It's the Celestial Dragon's manhunt. I always thought that was just a tall tale. They've got devil fruits, Kaido. You wanted one, didn't you? What powers are they? Could be good for my kids, too. Oh, I don't know why, but I like these two together somehow. Fucking Big Mom and the Kaido. I as individuals, I hate them. But as a couple, I ship it. An evil couple, but a couple nonetheless. And you're sure it's not a trap? Shut up. If you're not committed, stay here. The rest of us are going to God Valley. The Roger Pirates. Hey, Gaban, where's God Valley? I'm not close, but I'll make sure we're there in time. Gaban. Gaban looks a bit like someone there, but anyway. We're going, right, boys? No question. So Rox is on the move. Don't let him get the jump on us. It took just the tiniest bit of classified intel to set off all the fiercest warriors of the sea. Oh, because Rox went and Roger went, and because Roger went, Garp went. Okay. Whoa, it's a giant ship. Who cares? Sink them. No, wait. What is it, Rox? Don't slow us down. I thought of a chain reaction as well, but I think that Roger would have went even if Rox didn't, because of Shaki. But Shaki is the chain reaction, because she set everyone wanting to save her. But Garp specifically went because of Roger, yeah. Big Mom said that she sees Kaido as a little brother. I don't care. Are you telling me that I can't ship someone because of how she sees him? I'm trying to remember. They're pirates. You don't think they've slept together just because, oh, he's like a little brother to me? And ship it. I'm trying to remember if I ever saw someone as like not relationship material, but then I did end up dating them. But I think that once you travel together as a crew, you become family. Like it's almost a given. I still ship them though. I think they like visually make an awesome couple, but I don't care what they do because they're villains. But I ship the crap out of them. And I totally wish that Yamato was their kid, but I don't think that's true. Let me tell you about all the ships that started off with one seeing the other person as a friend or a brother, and then it ended up being something else. Yeah, there is. I don't remember if I ever did that. I didn't. No, I can't remember. All I remember is no. The roommate you had? No, we were friends with benefits, and then we started dating, but I never saw him as a brother. No. Okay, so then everyone is off to save Shaki. Someone said they ship Law and Robin, and then Hachi said Law and Robin? Hell no. Well, let's just finalize that my only actual couple that I truly ship and that I truly believe belong together, my OTP from One Piece, Sanji and Pudding. Anyone else is just because they look good together or whatever, it doesn't matter. Sanji and Pudding. It's a giant ship. Who cares? Sink them. No, wait. What is it, Rox? Don't slow us down. I was told to stop a certain pirate crew that was infatuated with a single woman, Rox. If we make use of our strength, it would be child's play to sink your ship. Do you see that boat in the distance? We've got government monitors. monitors? The government is watching us. And you think this is winning you points with the world government? Don't underestimate what we can do, king of the giant oafs. Does it please you to serve the government that sits on its comfortable perch and watches us destroy one another? I suppose it does, because you're the madman who wants to change Elbaf, no matter what. Now, can we talk in private? You were the number one... Oh, Luffy and Vivi? Gotta be realistic, guys. Gotta be realistic. No, there's a possibility for Sanji and Pudding. There's no possibility for Luffy and Vivi. Let's not lie to ourselves. Once again, if I were to count all the characters that I ship, yes, Big Mom Kaido, Luffy, Vivi, Zoro and Kurosaki-kun, Hiyori, Zoro and Hiyori, love them together. But do I think that they'll end up together? If I could only choose one couple, like, nope. Only Sanji and Pudding. Okay. So, Rox and Harold going to talk in private. I'm sure you've heard where we're going and why. Well, I'm only going to tell you this next part. I'm only going to tell this next part to you. It's not even for my own crew to hear. What is His Majesty talking about over there? Well, la-dee-da. He's having a toast while my beloved Shaki is waiting to be rescued. The truth is, I've got a hidden name. Davy D. Chebek. Another one with a D. Sorry if you expected the reaction. I don't. Another D. Okay, let's see. It's not Rox. It's the name of a clan that I suspect the world government has long tried to cover up. The descendants of the legendary pirate, Davy D. Jones. Oh, that's what I want to know. More about the D. Not about another D, just more about the D. We took root in the criminal underworld and continue to eke out a living even today. My timing was either great or terrible. You see, 2 years ago I had a kid. And to make sure that danger couldn't befall them both, I sent my wife and child to my homeland and told them to seek the Davy clan for help. He already had the D. Oh, right, he already had the D. Oh, okay, no wonder I wasn't surprised. But the Davy part? Is the D connected to the Davy, or is the Davy clan separate from the D? Or is it interconnected? Does the D stand for Davy? But that would make his name Davy Chebek, and that doesn't make sense. Davy Jones was mentioned way back in Ronguringurongurando. We talked about that already. They were the Davy Jones games, the locker or something. I'm pretty sure we also talked about it last week. Does the D stand for Davy? So then he's Davy Jones. Like Tony Chopper. But I was just thinking, like, if it all stems from the Davy clan, so the D might stand for Davy, but if he's actually a descendant directly from the original Davy that established the clan, then I could see him being Davy Chebek. I mean, yes, Davy Chebek. And that's why he made it Rox, because otherwise the D gives away the Davy. Oh! Wait. It's not... Okay, wait. I read something on the next page already. So he says Davy D. Chibik. It's not rocks. Okay, so he sent... My timing was either great or terrible. You see, 2 years ago I had a kid. And to make sure that danger could not befall them both, I sent my wife and child to my homeland. And told them to seek the Davy clan for help. I see. So your kin and your wife and your child are there in your homeland. And why would you admit this exploitable weakness to me? My home is God Valley. God Valley. Go D Valley. It was never God Valley, guys. It was Go D Valley. So the government did this as a means to lure you into their clutches? Nah, the celestial dragons are converging on that island. They don't want me coming there. That was a miscalculation on their part. It feels as though some great act of fate is pulling all of the strings behind the scenes. Kidnapping Shaki was their fatal mistake. As long as my wife and kid escape, I don't care about the rest. Whoever's side fortune is on, Harold, it doesn't feel like mine. So lend me your aid. I refuse. I'd rather sink your ship right now. But why? Why is Harold so against... Like, he just told him... Like, I get it, he's a pirate. But they were also kind of friends. And now he just told him this whole story. Like, I've been reserving my judgment on the guy because he's still a pirate. But he's telling you right now his wife and child is on that island... And do you know what they're doing there? Do you know? Do you still want to support that government? Because last week, I was saying, I feel sorry for the guy because he doesn't really understand what the world government is. But now, I feel like he does. He knows. You know what they're doing. They're having a manhunt over there. You don't think he knows? How can he not know? Okay, maybe he doesn't know, but what does he think he's protecting then? What does he think is happening on God Valley right now? I feel like if you don't suspect something, you are purposefully... Like, what is it called? The willful ignorance or something. Yeah. Booty says, I can see they don't give any information to him. Just stop any pirate ship that tries to land here. But that's what I'm saying. So, okay, even if he doesn't know, he has to know something is happening. And I guess because of One Piece and some other things, I have become very critical and suspicious of governments in general. And the more you look, the more terrible shit you see. But at this point, he doesn't have that mindset. He doesn't think, too naive, too desperate to be accepted. Damn. Okay, but now a pirate is telling him, like, listen, my wife and child are there. And he still doesn't want to help him because he trusts the world government, probably. And I refuse. I would rather sink your ship right now. That's your choice. So be it. Don't attack him. Huh? Though hard to believe, once every 3 years, the celestial dragons choose an island rich in resources and unaffiliated with the government. and carry out a manhunt, slaughtering all the natives. So, did that was the narrator speaking, but was it Harold who said don't attack him, and then Rox who said you soft coward, or what? He let him go. That is as much as he was willing to help. Fair enough. But, and I know this might not be the time to bring it up, but do you guys see my frustration with Kizaru? Like, imagine what he must know, and then he's still... Somebody help! This can't be happening! In addition to the rare and exotic devil fruits we have... In addition to the rare and exotic devil fruits, we have our grand prize of the event. Hailing from the Isle of Woman within the calm belt of the Grand Line, the previous Empress of the Amazons, praised as the most beautiful woman in the world. Her name is Shakuyaku. The day of the God Valley incident. Wow, she's so beautiful. I want her. She was kept in pristine condition after being caught. Don't be stupid. If I win, she's my slave. She's my wife. Stop dreaming, Somers. Oh shit, I should have turned it like this. Wait, I think I missed something. Take her for a wife or make her a slave. The decision is yours. She's perfect. Win and bring her into the Shepherd family, Somers. A truly elite prize. And then Somers says, don't be stupid. If I win, she's my slave. And he says, she's my wife. Stop dreaming. And then there's a new character over here. And Gunko. With you here, Gunko, we might win a trophy in the family competition. And then on the last page, please, get my children off this island. Get my children off this island. Don't let him have them. Come here, Teach. It's all right. You have to live through this. My children. Lastly, every world noble is aware of them. In addition to the Buccaneer boy serving as a super rare rabbit in this contest, we have another target who's been found at long last after 800 years. The Davy clan. I don't understand. Get my children off the island. And then Booty says the new character is the only member of the Man-Mayer family, Gunko's family, that we knew already, but we barely know anything about her. We saw this character next to Gunko during Kuma's flashback of God Valley. Which chapter was that? That is Shanks' mom. It's two separate scenes. Oh. Oh, so, what? I thought Shanks was found in a treasure chest. And Shamrock went with his dad. And I don't fully understand the flow of this then. Like, separate scenes. Teach and his mother are in a cage. It's Shanks' mother wounded, begging Dragon to save her kids. Oh, because he stabbed her and took them. And she dragged herself away. And he found her. And she told him, please save my children. Oh. And then they're caged. Ah. Yeah, Dragon may have hid baby Shanks in a treasure box and Roger found him. I think I know. I get what Oda's cooking up here with Dragon and Shanks. That is a theory. Dragon wants to hide Shanks and he finds the chest and takes his devil fruit and puts Shanks in there. Huh. Oh my god. This is so good. But it's not enough. I want to know what happens next. But take all the time you need, Oda. Oh my god. Every single line, every single page, it was just so good. Dragon somehow took Shanks and put him in the chest. I'm very interested in the aspect of Rocks on his way to God Valley and being basically the prototype revolutionary. Okay. Okay. Prototype revolution. He doesn't care about anyone except himself, his crew, and his family. Which is fine, but that's not what a revolutionary is. Not in my understanding of the word. Dragon doesn't care about the slaves. Dragon? Do you mean Rocks? Yeah, it's not the revolutionary thing. Don't conflate the two. You can like Rocks, I get it. But don't give him accolades that he doesn't deserve. Like, he's a good dad, a good husband apparently. Wants to save his family, fair enough. But I wouldn't call him a prototype revolutionary because that's not what a revolutionary fights for. Almost anyone will want to fight for their own family, but a revolutionary is a bit different than that. And I mean, one of my favorite things about the revolutionaries is that they don't help people and then rule over them. They inspire them to take action for themselves and they help them gain the strength to do that and they support them, but they still want people to fight for themselves. It's a completely different, I don't know, but it's different. I consider him to be the prototype revolutionary because he was anti-world government. But that's not the only thing that defines a revolutionary. I'm anti-government. Doesn't make me a revolutionary. It's not what you say, it's what you do. And I'm not actually anti-government exactly, because I do think that people want someone to lead them. It's just that I think we give too much power away to governing bodies, and then we wash our hands and we're like, we have nothing to do with this anymore. And then you give them so much power, and what does power do? Corrupts people. So when you say, yes, you run this and here is all our money, take, I'm going to just watch, I don't know, some crazy sport and I'm going to work and eat and watch sports. And then you never even have any hand in what the government is doing or plotting and you just trust them blindly. Well, yeah, they're going to take advantage of you. But, Yeah, I don't think that anyone who is anti-government is suddenly a revolutionary. That seems a bit not simplistic, but what is the word for reductionist? It's reducing the meaning of a revolutionary. If Gear 5 isn't smiling, you know you messed up. Are you talking about the anime today? Shrishant says, it's as if Rox could have been inspired Dragon when he sees him in God Valley. Do you mean you theorized that that Dragon was inspired by Rox? You guys want to hump this man so bad. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Rox was over there. Dragon was over here, questioning his orders from his superiors, looking at the people around them, wondering, these are civilians. Why am I hurting them? I want to help them. It had nothing to do with what the fuck Rox was doing way over there, okay? I don't know, not at this point. It doesn't seem to me like he even knows about Rox. At the very least, it seems like we're actually getting the God Valley incident next week. I did not expect going into this. I think all the story about God Valley and Rox is going to change Roger in this incident. Rox isn't saving civilians. Why would Dragon be inspired? I don't know. I think this is a very interesting chapter for Dragon because he's someone where any one of us could imagine ourselves in his footsteps. Any one of us could go, well, not literally, but we could imagine ourselves becoming part of a police force or a military force where we're trained and we believe that we're going to go out there and help people and save the world. Only to be completely disillusioned when you're told, don't think. Here, shoot civilians. How thrown would you be? And he's confused and he's doesn't understand what's going on and he's seeing people hurt and we don't know what's going to happen next. But at this point, saying that Rox inspired Dragon to become a revolutionary, it's a bit of a stretch. Not saying it didn't happen, just do not think we have any proof of that at this point. And I'm already seeing Dragon, with no influence from Rox, starting to question and starting to, well, he might help these people or try something. The Rox hype is too high right now. He's the first revolutionary, the true pirate king, the original Luffy, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I think he's an interesting character. I've been wanting to learn more about him, and this chapter is definitely giving us a deeper insight. But the way that people are like trying to force him is actually funny because like a couple of weeks ago, everyone was shitting on Roger and saying, ooh, he's got no aura. Rox has got all the aura. And then Rox was like, ooh, Shaki's so beautiful or something. And then people were like, oh, actually, this random marine guy that didn't like Boa, he's got all the aura now. And like, I don't even like, okay, cool, guys, cool. If anything, Dragon would have been inspired by Kuma. What I like to see here is he's already questioning things. So sure, I could imagine if he saw the slaves fight for their freedom and he got into contact with Jenny. I mean, Dragon is later the one that establishes the revolutionary army with Ivanchan. Ivankov, right? So there is a basis for that theory that, yeah, Dragon could have been inspired by this whole incident and by Kuma and by Ivankov, who fought for their freedom. yeah, I can believe there's a basis for that, but I don't know. Rocks is over there, and that's just too much. It's not even here yet. Spirit of Adventure says, I am going to wait until everyone gets off the rocks high. Roger is and will remain king. Same. I think he's interesting, but I don't know anything else yet. I'm waiting. I do think, wow, we learned a lot today though. God Valley, his original home, his wife being there, Blackbeard being there. I mean, that's some crazy shit. And someone said that Moria was originally from West Blue. And then how did he get to Wano then? Because if that's true, I can totally see that kid being Moria. Ramon says, Rocks is cool, but he bowed out to the future Pirate King. Don't forget. Until Luffy becomes king. This is an interesting thought. Wow, there's a lot of messages. I don't know where to start reading. Okay, let me start up here. Wait. I'm gonna work my way down. I'm wondering how much the actual incident will differ from what we know about it until now, which I concede is not much. Then, Garp keeps staying in the Navy. I would like to see an argument between Dragon and Garp about the Navy. I would also like to see that. What I do like regarding Garp is that he never wanted to accept a promotion. It's like he wanted to distance himself between his work and what he believes in and what he wants to do versus what the rest of the higher ups are colluding about with doing. Roger is always compared to Luffy. Luffy was stated to say the same words as Roger, meaning have the same dream or goal. Rocks was similar to Blackbeard. So you're saying that Roger and Rocks is like the previous generation of Luffy and the Blackbeard. Like they're kind of like parallels in a sense. Inherited D will, remember? Roger will win over Rocks, and the people will have a rude awakening. I wonder about that. Like, I think that, yes, of course, Roger will win over Rocks in some way. But I don't know. It's like they're rivals, and the winning won't be so much maybe because Rocks might have died here. That's the theory, right? And if he died here, I don't see Roger being the one who beats him. Roger might just be the one who outlives him, you know? I need more of an explanation why Roger is fighting Rocks, because right now Roger seems to be on the wrong side of history at God Valley. What do you mean Roger is on the wrong side of history? Roger and the Rocks fighting are just pirates fighting. Pirates fight because they all want to be the pirate king or whatever. Like, that's not why is Roger on the wrong side of history? No one knew about the human hunt until they found out about Shaki being a prize, and now he's going. So how is that the wrong side of history? Victory Road Rage, referring to Moria, says that is a mystery in itself. His grave mentioned he was born in West Blue and raised in Ringo. So if he was here, he must have escaped somehow, and maybe he just ended up in Wano. That would be crazy. EFF says that Roger is on the wrong side of history because he's going to the valley for Shaki, not slaves. But listen to this. I need more explaining on why Roger is fighting Rox, because right now Roger is on the wrong side of history at God Valley. But Rox is going for his wife and child, and Roger and all his people are going for Shaki. No one even knew about the manhunt happening there. How is that the wrong side of history because they're going to save someone who got caught up in some shit? And why are you putting it like Roger is somehow in the wrong for going to save someone that he cares about, or is what the fuck? You guys are breaking my brain because of how badly you dislike Roger to somehow lift up Rox. As if that even needs to be a thing right now. Like, they're both fucking pirates. Why? I think they're saying it because Rox went for his family. Wait, why did Roger prevent him from going to his family? They both went. We don't even know what happened yet. Maybe wait a week before we start making claims about who did what. Because I don't know about you guys, but I cannot see the future. So before I jump to conclusions about who did what and why, can we see? You guys, that means Roger likely did this. Blah, 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 blah. You're making a lot of assumptions. Which is fine if you're theorizing, but... Rox said something like, "Don't get in my way, Roger," which means Roger likely stopped Rox from doing something he disagreed with, and Roger is similar to Luffy. I don't understand the last part. Sengoku is such a reliable narrator. Sengoku is the goat guy. The guy with the goat. Why? Is he the narrator? What? Since Roger knew he was about to surrender, he could definitely thought of an idea about protecting his son. But he only remembered him while he was locked up. Sengoku mentioned that Roger and Garp fought the rock pirate to stop from achieve their goals, hence the assumption. But Sengoku wasn't there yet. So you guys believe something that someone said when a lot of the story is based on how information is being manipulated to control people's perception of an incident. The way that Luffy is blamed for Vegapunk's death because of, well, someone said something, so it must be true, right? Is that what we're going with? Why do you think he surrendered? So the Marines stopped pursuing him and his family when they didn't stop, even with that he entrusted him to Garp. Some people seem hell-bent on pinning Roger as a terrible father and Rox as a great one, and so on and so on. I think we shouldn't forget that both of them are pirates. And the pirates are pretty chaotic people. But both of them are going here to save someone. And let's not forget Kuma's role in all of this. As a child. So if we're gonna, respect anyone, if we're gonna, lift up anyone and try and, because that's what it feels like to me. People are, before they even have all the information, everyone's trying to either lift up this character to pull that character down or this or that. You know who's the true fucking hero? Kuma. Jenny, Ivankov, who were children fighting for their freedom when adults couldn't do anything. Why is no one talking about Morgan's cool hat? That was my takeaway from this chapter. I didn't pay attention to his hat. Is he wearing a hat? Like a Scottish... It's okay. I think his cape is cooler, but his little straps don't go with the cape. It goes with the hat, but it's like a whole mixed match of style here. I also don't think Roger fought Rox. I have a feeling something else happened, but not sharing just a wild theory. 100%. We can't trust someone said something about who fought who and what did. Misunderstandings happen all the time. It's not uncommon in One Piece. Unless you hear it from a character who was there, or you actually see it play out, you can't take it as a fact. Or maybe if the narrator says something, sure. Another topic is about who is Davy, the previous Rox, and Joy Boy, the previous Roger, to end with Luffy and Teach, like a cycle. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Doji. That's the best thought that I've heard from the chapter so far. The kind of like a generational inherited will situation, right? I mean, inherited will is a very important theme in One Piece. And it links probably to how one generation builds on the next. Like, you can't do everything you can't change the world in one generation. So, like, the next one might have to carry on your will or whatever. So, yeah, if you have Davy, Joy Boy, Rox, Roger, Blackbeard, Luffy. Is that how simple it is, really? Or could there be more to it? Kind of reminds me of a whole, like, yin and yang thing, right? Like, Joy Boy has the white hair. But Luffy's still a pirate. And then you have... You know what I mean, right? I think Garp hates his hero name. Not because he had to team up with Roger, but because it wasn't Garp who killed Rox. It is probably Emu. Is that what they said happened? That's a good theory. people are also speculating that Davy D. Jones is Joy Boy's true name. Ooh, that would link to the yin and yang theory, because like you have this, okay, I don't know how to do this, right? Wait, I suck at this, but so I mean you have like, let's say each generation's Luffy and Blackbeard. But if you go back far enough, like Luffy, Blackbeard, Luffy, Blackbeard, Luffy, Blackbeard, Luffy, Blackbeard, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, they might converge. They might be one. Like, you have this split. Everyone has a little bit of good, a little bit of bad, whatever. But, I mean, they might be the same, you know? That would be interesting. If you go back far enough, they're one and the same. Gunko is here, so Emu probably showed up at one point. Smoker was given credit for Luffy beating Crocodile. Similarly, Garp might have given the credit for killing Rocks to cover up the existence of Emu. Very, very good theory. Definitely possible. I can see that. Roger is singled out currently by two different characters as... Roger is singled out by two different characters as Rocks' enemy. Sengoku and Rocks. Enemy, I mean... They seem annoyed with each other about as much as Naruto and Sasuke get annoyed with each other. As much as I enjoy the perpetual struggle, I don't want the world struggles to be reduced to the feud of a couple of families. So I hope they're not that connected. Fair. It's just tough when it comes down to one story. Like, they're just telling one story, but it does encompass the fate of the whole world to some extent. But I mean, if you think about it, the world government literally controls most of the world. So that's what the story is about. So if one family or it's not a family, it's a clan. If you have the world government that is literally controlling the whole world, the clan just established itself to oppose that. And sure, there might be a lot of little governments, a lot of little clans, but the story converges around the two main ones. It's like the right and the left in America, or even in our country. We have 1,000 political parties, but everyone only talks about two. And this kind of is the same. I'm just replying to Odinoko. As much as I enjoy the perpetual struggle, I don't want the world struggles to be reduced to the feud of a few. But that is what it is. Very sadly. The fate of millions often hang in the hands of a few. Because of the masses so easily giving up our power. Maybe Rocks lost because he was outnumbered. We saw Big Mom chasing devil fruits instead of fighting. Everyone was doing their own thing. I'm just going to tell you now, Achilles, I'm not missing your message. I am ignoring it on purpose so you can stop posting it. I think that is a ridiculous question. I'm sorry. His question... No, I'm not even going to read the question out loud. If you're watching this on YouTube Live, you can see the question yourself. And you can answer it yourself if you want to. Rocks called out Roger before hockey sparks come off. Gabon did say he sensed a familiar hockey when Emu showed up in Elbaf. Really? A very low stakes theory. On the cover page, in the bag of apples page 1 is holding, it looks like there might be a devil fruit at the top, since the apple has patterns. I mean, aren't there still a couple of, weren't they growing fake devil fruits there? Smile fruits? Oh no, wait, they didn't grow them. Doflamingo was sending them, or what? White Nika. If Sengoku is there, I will talk about it when they show him to be there, okay? That's all I'm saying. Until we see him, I won't discuss what he saw or what he said because I don't know. The story has to confirm it before I make claims based on something that he said. If you want to assume he was there, that's fine. I'm just saying I don't make my assumptions as easily in a world where information has been used. Information, misunderstandings to shape people's perceptions. I'm just waiting a bit. Vazu says, do you think this is a reach? Some people said they see little hands hugging baby Blackbeard from behind, suggesting there's a sibling behind him. It's a bit tough when it comes to translations. Like, with Japanese, sometimes you can interpret things one or the other way, depending on the kanji being used and all kinds of stuff. So what's interesting with Japanese is they can hide a lot of information. Like the whole Kozuki versus Moria, his other name or whatever. Like by flipping the symbols, you can change the total meaning of something. So what I'm saying is, what I'm getting at is that we didn't hear Rox talk about his children. We heard him talk about a child. So I do see like some scribbles there, but it's nothing to go off of. It does seem like I don't understand what those scribbles are. I don't see hands behind. I see like scribbles. But it just looks like he has dirt on his face. Like it's dirt. Not dirt, but he's been like mishandled. Is that a word? It's a word in my language, okay? Mishandle. He's been abused. So to me it just looks like he's been roughed up. I don't see other hands now. Rox does not want to save his hometown. He literally said, I only care if my wife and son escape. So we know everyone came out of God Valley incident except Rox and perhaps also Teach and Shanks' mom. Well, yeah, moms don't need to be part of the story, so they get killed off. They're just a liability, so they're not going to write about them. Ace's mom died. I'm guessing Shanks' mom dies. Teach's mom dies. All the moms die. I think we're going to witness Dragon's feet in the next chapter. Yes! I'll just say that I'm super ready for more dragon because I think literally last week, or I don't remember when it was, But I was saying I'm kind of like disappointed. Dragon has been like this character, this hype. Like I was always looking forward to, oh my god, Dragon, Luffy's father, what? And it's just been so long. And he's so mysterious and like, so now I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. But when I think about it now, I actually like how downplayed his character is. Because he's not this leader of men and blah blah blah. He's truly someone who was disillusioned with the government and the world, and now all he's trying to do is give people the power to fight back. He doesn't want to lead them. He doesn't want to. He just, I don't know, but I really like that. Japanese readers did accurately guess that Luffy would go Gear 5 at the Kaido fight because Luffy's scratches on his face looked like a kanji that said Gear 5. But then who is saying those are hands? Are it Japanese readers? Because that's why I brought up the fact that the translation is important. Since in Japanese, stuff can be like swapped around or mean two different things. If in English someone tells me I have a son, that's it. You have a son. That means one. If in Japanese, it's more like, in Japanese, for example, you refer to them. But in English, it will more often than not be translated into he or she. Japan doesn't have the same kind of, I don't know what those words are called, when it's more, like, even when you talk to someone, you use their name more often, stuff like that. So interpreting the actual Japanese could end up very different than the English translation. So if there are theories about how many kids he has, it has to come from the Japanese version or Japanese fans. And they need to point to me like, okay, what means that? Because to me, in the English, he said, I have a son and a wife. So Akhilesh says, I'm not hating anyone, but it seems like Oda's upscaling Rocks and downscaling Roger. Yeah. Oda is downscaling a character that has existed since the very first chapter. It's going to turn out exactly the way you want it to. Hold on to that. Dragon looks too helpless, a rookie, far from the powerhouse. They will collide there. I don't expect any big feat from him in this flashback. Just enough to survive and maybe save Shanks. Oh! Don't get me wrong, I wasn't expecting, like, he is a rookie. I just meant I'm so happy that we get to see his beginnings. And I want to see more of, like, what made him who he is today. So I wasn't expecting, like, what was Kobe's big moment? Remember his big move? Like, he's nowhere near where Kobe eventually was. But I just want more Roger. I mean, Dragon. Because I do think that he's an interesting character and he's Luffy's father and I was always excited for him. So to see his origins and to learn more about him, that's what I'm excited for. Exactly. That is the perfect way to put it. Oda isn't playing up Roger. Roger is already established. He's building rocks because we haven't seen anything about him before. And it seems more recency bias that people are saying like, oh, da 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 da. Because I totally do that too. Recency bias is very real. But if you think that you don't have to, no, let me try this again. saying something good about one character isn't saying something bad about another character. And I feel like that's the part. People can't separate that. Like, they think just because one character is getting some time to shine, suddenly that character doesn't matter. No, it's what Odinoko said. This is an established character. We knew nothing about him. We're exploring him. This is his time to shine. But that doesn't remove who he has been all this time. Can someone ban Hakan? I don't think he understands anything that is going on. And he's just spamming a bit. I need to see the flashback of Dragon charming Luffy's mom. There's a lot we need to see. A lot. I think Kuma saves Blackbeard. And it can also show how Kuma has helped the two sides of Freedom Bringers. Luffy and Shabondi and Blackbeard in God Valley. That would be poetic. Yes, that feels to me like the kind of thing Fate would do. AKA Oda. Yeah, I can see that being true. I think some people are expecting too much from him right now. Save Shanks, get inspired by everybody, even get his devil fruit. I want to see more of him too, but it will be survival for him. But those are not crazy things. For a rookie to be inspired is normal. Maybe even he could get his devil fruit. That's not something unbelievable. Put Shanks in a chest because he's literally here with Shanks' mom. That's not unbelievable things to expect, though. Roger did it all with Haki. No one reached his heights with only that. Plus, he was sick. So put some respect on his name. Yeah. Does Rox know about the history of the world? I don't think Garp actually protected the celestial dragons on God Valley. No one, who said that? He literally didn't want to go at all. He didn't want anything to do with that until he found out that Roger was going. So who are you responding to? Okay, but anyway, sorry, I'll finish your message. I don't think Garp protected the celestial dragons on God Valley. And he actually goes against them, which, I mean, it's been established, but yeah. And makes the revolutionary army because... Wait, those are two separate messages. Sorry, I got them conflated. The statements we got from Sengoku is propaganda, which we've seen happen when Luffy defeated Crocodile and Smoker got the credit. Yeah. I think Rox is the hero and the villains will be Emu and the Holy Knights. You have to have heroes and villains. You have to have only those two. Okay. This is what made Dragon leave the Marines and make the Revolutionary Army, because he saw the evil. Yes, that has been discussed. She has a 6 swirl in her hair. Dragon has a 5 in his backpack. 5, 6. Gomu. Who are you talking about? The snake lady. The one of the Kuja. Does she have a 6 in her hair? Mu? Oh, like Mutsu. Yeah. We haven't even seen if Rox has a devil fruit. In this chapter, Big Mom was bragging about getting devil fruits for her family. So I wonder what the reason will be. She gave 1 fruit to Kaido. She wasn't bragging, I think. She just said that I also want, it would be good to get for my kids, right? I love that. Luffy took down a government agency at Dragon's age. Dragon could put a baby in a chest. Yeah. Have your opinions changed about Chibik? Well, I thought he was a pirate who seemed to want to rule the world. And now he's a pirate who seems to want to rule the world, who wants to save his son and his wife. So I wouldn't say it changed too much. I think the reason why people take Sengoku's word is because Sengoku came off as one of the good Marines. But good people can also be told information that's wrong. It's a big island. They probably weren't all having a fight at the same time in the same places. Someone told him Garp is the one who defeated... Bye. Why would you think Rocks dies protecting Dragon? Someone said earlier that Dragon quotes Rocks later. What did he say? It's also heavily implied that Sengoku was not at God Valley. So it's all secondhand information from him. That's what I said. I said, I'm going to wait until we see him there. And then someone else in the chat was like, what do you mean? He was there. Yeah. And I'm like, who says that? Where did you... Like, people are just making these huge assumptions. And I'm just like, okay. I'm not making that assumption. Can someone... Okay, never mind. I'll just ban them myself. Don't call me stupid if I didn't read some of your messages. He literally posted 3 times. Blackbeard is the strongest person in One Piece. My favorite character is Blackbeard. He'll be the king. Oh, why aren't you reading my comments, stupid? That's a Blackbeard fan for you. Rock said something like, don't get in my way, Roger. And one panel after is Haki, sparks coming off the island. Which chapter was this? Why are people underestimating Garp's trainee? Who is Garp's trainee? All of that is imagination, but imagine Dragon. Big Mom being ironically a good mom in her own way is crazy. But I love Big Mom's character because she's so complex to me. Like, she's this happy kid that her parents threw her away because they literally could not feed her because she's some kind of got the giant gene, blood. And then she gets put in this place where there's a literal evil woman. Like, Carmel was evil, right? And then through some crazy shit mishap, she eats her friends. And then this guy discovers her and her power, and he's like, oh, and then he controls her. And then all she really wants to do is like make the world a happy place where everyone can eat candy until she doesn't get wedding cake, and then she'll smash everything. She's this very weird, complex, crazy villain character, and I find that super interesting. But yeah, in her own way, she believes she's also doing the right thing, and she's kind of like a good mom, but I mean, she's cuckoo. She doesn't seem that crazy in these chapters, though, to be honest. Her introduction as a kid makes me think that she's not all there, and Who she is later makes me think she's not all there. But the way she is in these chapters, she seems relatively sane, which is weird to me. I didn't expect that. You love me and Buggy the Clown? Okay. One Piece sadly is quite agenda ridden, and people are sometimes toxic. What do you mean One Piece is agenda ridden? Do you mean the fandom, the One Piece fandom? Like everyone's pushing their own agenda and projecting onto the story. I mean, that's life for you. They're saying Garp would have trained Dragon, so a 17-year-old Dragon should be pretty competent in a physical fight. How do we know Garp? Oh, because yeah, Garp is, I mean, Dragon is Garp's son. Like, I didn't really connect that right now. Whoa. Yeah, he should be fairly competent. We know something goes wrong in God Valley because no one wins Shaki. Thank God. All I can say is never participate in Reddit debates about One Piece. It's the most toxic place I have ever witnessed. Yeah. Reddit. Just Reddit. What's Corby? Who's your favorite antagonist? Did I not just speak for 5 minutes about Big Mom? No, I'm joking. I like Big Mom. I'm very interested in Eneru coming back at some point. I like, what is that buggy Mihawk crocodile groupie? What are they called again? I like them. Because I never really saw Mihawk as much of a bad guy. I feel like he's one of the most neutral ones. So for him to align himself with Crocodile and Buggy is quite interesting to me. We see Shaki with Rayleigh, so she gets saved, but Rox dies and gets erased from history by the world government. Big Mom should still be alive, because how is Zeus still alive? I've been hoping that, but she fell into a pit of lava or something, so I don't know. She gives them, the thing is, her power gives them life. Like, not in terms of as if she's supplying them with mana actively at every moment of every day. It's like an amount of years. Because she takes 5 years from your life and adds it to a cloud. So to me, that is a done deal. So I wouldn't say she's definitely alive just because Zeus is alive. To me, it's like, okay, I take 5 years from you, give 5 years to you. That is not linked to her anymore. That, I'm not saying that is the truth. I'm saying that would be my interpretation. So I don't see that as a guarantee that she's alive, but I'm hoping. I just want to see Dragon confront Garp over what happened in God Valley and what Garp taught him what a Marine is supposed to be versus what they were doing in God Valley. But the problem is, technically, the Marines are separate from the world government, but they are, it's like a hierarchy thing. So you have the world government, which is made up of basically, everyone doesn't know, but you have Imu and the Gorosei, right? Then the people who are connected to the Gorosei, the only ones allowed to see them are like a very select few. And Garp did not want to be promoted. And then you have the whole ass Navy, which also has its own ranks. So this is separate from this, but connected by this. These keep them connected. They're being... I don't know who exactly the higher-ups are, but I just know that Garp refused to be promoted because of that, as far as I understand it. So they're separate. So being a Marine does not mean you are part of the world government, but it does. But I mean, there are hundreds of countries under the world government giving them money because, well, that's how things work. We're paying our tribute. And the Marines are no different. They're part of the world government, but that doesn't make them the world government. In the same way that every person has to pay their tribute, then most Marines just see this like, okay, we're under the world government, but they're still separate. Does that make sense? So, Garp being a Marine and wanting his children to be Marines, a Marine like Garp and the Sword faction seem to embody how it should be. Like, a better idea, yes. The problem is, remember, no matter what, one of the biggest things in One Piece is that no group is all good or all bad. It's just that the Marines would, I think, have slightly more people who are hoping to do something good, and pirates in general have people who are almost inherently more selfish. And selfish is not always a bad thing. But both groups would have very good and very bad people within them. It's just the way of the world. Do you think Rox will have a tragic death? He is being presented as the main character right now in the flashback. The main character is a little bit difficult for me to accept. It's more like a show... There were many shows with multiple main characters. What am I recently watching? Like, there doesn't have to be just one main. But I get what you're saying. He's probably getting the most focus. But remember, we've had Loki getting a lot of focus. Then it shifted a bit to Harold. Then it shifted a bit to the... And now it shifted a bit to Rox. But I don't really think... Maybe in like a few chapters. But not... So yeah, I wouldn't really call him the main character. But he is a major player in the current backstory. Fate Zero. So I'm watching Fate Zero. And that is one of the best examples of... There's not really a main character, but there are ones that get slightly more focused than others, but it's very equally distributed, okay? So I think this is more of a situation like Fate Zero in that sense. But I do get your question. He is getting a certain tone of storytelling, and therefore my prediction about whether he would get a tragic death is maybe. I mean, think about it. Even Moria is getting... He got kind of like a... Like, I mean, we had this whole arc where he was the main antagonist during... What's that arc called? Where we found Brooke and everything. So, I mean, in that arc, he was the main antagonist, right? So... Now we're learning that, man, this guy, he fought for Wano. He had his good moments, but sadly, one moment or one time in your life can be ruined by you know, what's that quote about? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Like, no one is one thing for always. Anyone can easily be corrupted by power or by some kind of trauma that just like flipped a switch in your head. It can happen to anyone. And Rox is a pirate, but he has shown to have some morals. for at least the people around him. You know, he has some form of loyalty to others. He cares about his wife and child. So, I mean, if we can feel sympathy for a character like Moria through simply seeing a cover story that suddenly puts some pieces into place, I definitely can see Rox getting, like, someone dying is I mean, more often than not, it's a tragic situation. Gak, ask your mother to give you a hug. I don't know what you need, my boy. Like, if you have any money, maybe see a therapist. But honestly, I think all you really need is a hug from your mom. If she doesn't love you, I don't know. Make a friend. Make a friend. That's all I can... Like, make a friend. Coron says, I feel you need to tell Rox's story through Harold. Like, you have to understand the context of the past to make Loki's imprisonment make sense. DK says, I think pirates are so bad we ignore it. Luffy and the few are exceptions. We are only showed the bad side of the Navy. I don't think that we are. I think we've seen a lot of good and bad in each group. But the world government, though, that's where we've seen the worst. There is no, to me, I mean, the Gorosei and stuff, the Celestial Dragons, we haven't really seen any good there, with the exception of Doflamingo's father, who at least tried to change. Oh, and remember that one guy that princess, I mean the queen, Shirahoshi's mother? So there was some humanity, and I do appreciate that. But I think the worst groups that we've seen by far would be the world government as it is today. Is it possible that Davy Jones and Joy Boy was a single person, and D is the symbol coming from Davy? Joy Boy is probably a name called by others, and his real name was Davy Jones. We did discuss that a bit earlier, and that's why I brought up, well, I kind of linked it back to the yin and yang, which is one. Like, you have your Luffy, you have your Blackbeard, you have your Roger, you have your Rox, you have your Joy Boy, you have your Davy. But could they all, if you go back far enough, do they blend into one? Could the origin be the same? Kind of like, in a similar way, this is just a philosophy theory. Wait. 6 blind men and the elephant. So, I don't know, what is this called? Analogy? It's a parable from the Indian subcontinent about several blind men who touch different parts of an elephant and come to different conclusions about its form. So, so this man is touching the ear and saying it's like a carpet. He's trying to explain a carpet. This man is touching the trunk and says it's like a snake. This man is touching the tusk and saying it's like a weapon. This man is touching the body. Oh, it's like a wide tree, a wall. Oh, wait. Oh, he's touching the leg, the body, and the tail. But it's the same. So it's totally possible that not mythical, people from long, long ago, they have become almost like a myth. And it's not easy. Like, you know that game Telephone? So you whisper something in someone's ear, and then when it goes far enough, it changes. So it's very difficult to accurately pass on information about something or someone from one generation to the next. So, I mean, people hear things differently, they interpret things differently. So the more it gets passed down, the more it could change. Totally possible, I think, for someone like Davy or Joy Boy to actually be the same, but I don't know. I think you should read the manga if you have the time. Oh, I have not checked the Discord. And I probably need to finish up, to be honest with you guys, after I check the Discord. But let me roll. Can I roll? Yes. If Luffy rolls now, guys, let me have him, please. I'm joking. Ooh, honey. I would claim her if it was late last hour. I watched Space Dandy. I actually finished it recently. That is a wild but interesting show. Lots of comedy, lots of goofiness, but very meaningful in many ways. So I would recommend Space Dandy for anyone. Okay, just give me a second now. There is a JoJo announcement coming this month. Yay! Waku waku. I think Rox did not fight in full potential because celestial dragons got a hold of his family and he died protecting them. Well, he is going there to fight, to find them and help them escape. So, yeah, I could see that happen. Okay. Tiago said, well, shit. Douchebag galore really went and stabbed the mother himself. I need to see his disappointment when he loses Shaki, if he's capable of feeling that much. Granted, I need to see how Shanks ends up in a chest, since I'm not sure if Garling is leaving it at one stab, or probably finishes her. Please, more dragon in this backstory. I imagine after this incident is when he starts his revolutionary activities. So, not just a follower, but a descendant of Davy, huh? Generally, I assume any grudge Emu has boils down to people standing up to him or her or it. So I'm very curious to see what the D clan has done against Emu if it's not standing up to Emu. When I saw Chebek say he is from God's Valley, I could automatically see how Blackbeard became an orphan since he ended up on Whitebeard's ship. Right, yeah. I think Dragon is the one who put Shanks in the chest. I don't think Garling cares enough about the mother to properly finish the job. So she probably dies from blood loss, I would assume. Is crazy that Ginny saved Shaki from what was going to happen to herself in the future. I might be able to see Dragon putting Shanks in the chest, but I think he might be busy hiding Kid Blackbeard. I'd be more inclined to see the mother hide Shanks with her last breath. But isn't... In the chapter, don't we see Dragon in the room with Shanks's mom? So in my mind, Garling stabbed her, left her to die, and took the children. And she woke up probably after passing out from shock, but not completely bled out yet. She pulled herself into a storeroom or something, and then was discovered by Dragon, whom she begged with her final breath to save her children. So I think he's going to try and find the kids, but only be able to save one. In like a very scramble moment. There's going to be a lot of chaos. It's not going to be easy to draw, I think. And to illustrate how so much is happening at the same time. I can see that. I also want to see Kuma in action, saving the slave with this pawpaw fruit. Kuma could also help Blackbeard, along with Dragon. I wonder if we'll see more of Kuma still. Probably, hopefully. Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to say thank you guys for the great discussions. Very interesting. Honestly, the manga is the reason right now why I can't even score the anime objectively. Like, everything to me is a 10 out of 10 because the story is a 10 out of 10. And to me, nothing else matters beyond that. Because the story right now is honestly just fantastic. Booty says it's not quite Monday, but I was very close on my prediction. Yeah, it's 6 minutes to midnight, so very almost. But yeah, let me just end the video first. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week for the next chapter. Bye.